Hello and welcome. If you're new here, my name is Rain. I am about to do something so exciting right now. I am about to open up my kiln and take out a pot that I have glaze fired, and it is the very first pot that I have glaze fired in my kiln, which means it is the very first pot that I have finished to completion that I can now use for my plants. I have been messing around with my kiln for many months now, trying to figure out how to work it. It is a vintage kiln. I do believe it was made in the 70s. And I had a kiln expert come over to try to help me figure out how to use it. And he did not know how to use it, but he helped me to the best of his ability. So I have been testing it on different modes, and I have figured out that there is kind of something wrong with the kiln. It kind of heats up too high, too fast. So I have to do it manually. The automatic switch does not work. So I have to come in and like adjust it every hour for several hours. The firings last for maybe about 8 to 12 hours or 6 to 10 or something like that. So I'm still messing with it and trying to figure out the best way to use it. But my bisque firings have been coming out successfully, and now we are about to find out if my glaze firing has come out successfully. So without further ado, let's open it up. Okay, so let me just take this off and open it up. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I've been waiting all night for this. I could not wait to wake up in the morning to see what this looks like. Okay, there it is. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is so cool. Wow. Wow. I can finally use this now for my plants. Oh my gosh, it worked. There she is. This is a huge accomplishment for me. I think it has taken about 8 or 9 months to get to this point, but here we are. And for those of you who are interested in seeing the process of how this works, I will go ahead and show it to you. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you the plant that I am going to choose to put in my very first pot that I have made in my pottery studio. So I won't be showing you every single step of the way, but basically I first have to shape the clay, and I do it by throwing it on the wheel. I have a kick wheel, which is very traditional, and so I have to use my foot and kick the wheel at the bottom to make the wheel turn at the top so that I can shape the clay. Once the clay has its basic shape, I will let it sit out to dry until it gets to a leather hard stage, and then I can trim it to refine the shape. Once the trimming is done on the pot, I will let it sit out and completely dry, maybe over about a week. All of the moisture needs to be out of the clay before I put it into the kiln, otherwise it will explode inside of the kiln. So at that point, when it is 100% dry, I will do the bisque firing. And that is what makes the clay into ceramic. So now, at this point, this has been bisque fired, but not glaze fired. So this is now permanent. It's not brittle like the dry clay was before I fired it. And at this point, it is very, very porous. So it's kind of like a terracotta pot at this point, which I don't want for my plants. What I want for my plants is a waterproof container. So the next step will be to do the glaze firing. And in order to do the glaze firing, I need to put some glaze on the pot. So now let me take you on the part of the journey where I put the glaze together for my pots. This is my brand new glaze, and I bought it as a powder, so I need to mix it with water. This is the charcoal glaze. It is a matte satin type of glaze. As you can see, it is very dusty, and I don't want to risk getting silicosis, so I'm doing this outside with a mask on. After mixing the powder with water, you're supposed to let it sit out overnight, but as you can see, there's a huge gap in time here because I had to wait for some supplies to arrive. So now I'm just mixing it back up, and I need to add more water until it gets to the right consistency. And I am able to measure the consistency of the water using this hydrometer. With this, we can measure the specific gravity and the density. And what I'm looking for on this particular hydrometer is the number 52. Once the consistency is just right, I can now pour the glaze onto my pot. And I choose to pour it this way and also to dip my pots into the glaze. There are actually a few different ways that you can get your glaze onto your pots. You can paint it on with a brush, a paintbrush, or you can spray it on if you have a spray gun, or you can dip it like I'm doing here, and I am making a huge mess with this one. Since I got the glaze all over the bottom of the pot where I don't want it to be, I am going to have to do some cleanup with a wet sponge. So this is what the pot looks like with the glaze on it, and it has not been fired yet. So this glaze, I can just like flake it off, and I could even take a wet sponge and like wipe it off. It will come off. It's not permanent yet. Once it gets glaze fired, it basically turns into glass, which makes the pot waterproof. So I choose to keep the bottom here raw because I love to see the clay. I love the color of this clay. It's like chocolate brown. So this will have two colors. It will have the satin black at the top and then the brown at the bottom. And it will end up looking like this after the firing. So this was the very first pot that I had glaze fired, and I have not done any since this. This is going to be next. But as you can see, the comparison before glaze firing, after. So this is the process with the kiln. So the glazed pot goes into the kiln. I use a cone. This is cone 6. And this little stick here will melt at a certain temperature, which turns off the kiln. And so now I pretty much know the settings that I need to do a bisque firing and a glaze firing, because they are different from each other. And so now the kiln gets turned on, and I have to come back every hour to adjust the knobs. I have been using this thermocouple and thermometer to measure the temperature every hour to make sure that I am getting the temperature right at the right stages. For the glaze firing, the temperature will get to about 2100 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm ready to put my plant in my pot. Okay, I've chosen 2 plants, so I have to decide between the 2. So I've got my curly plant, my Hoya, they call it a Hindu robe, and I forget the scientific name of it. Oh, it's compacta, my Hoya compacta variegated. So I've had it like just on this little disc, and it's not very good at catching all the water that flows through. So sometimes it kind of like overflows, but at least it catches some of the drips. And I definitely need something bigger to put it in, because this does have drainage holes. And then I also have my variegated snow-capped begonia, which is just in a plastic bag right now. So this also has drainage holes at the bottom. And this is how the seller gave it to me, just like in this plastic bag, which is cool. But I haven't yet found a plastic container or anything that I can put this in. So now that I have this, either my begonia is going in here or my Hoya is. So that's what the Hoya looks like. And yeah, no. The plastic pot is too tall, obviously. So actually, this is a little bit better. Yeah, so even though the plastic pot is still a little bit too tall, at least it's way better than it being in the plastic bag. And this pot is not like the most beautiful pot ever made in the world. This was a practice pot. I was practicing throwing on the wheel, and I kind of like messed up and made this lip by accident. But I decided to keep it anyways, just so I could mess around with it in the kiln to make sure I could get the settings right. So I got it bisque fired, I got it glaze fired, and now I can actually use it. So it's functional, maybe not so beautiful, but it's gonna serve its purpose. So there, that's the plant I've decided to put into my first pot that I've ever made in my home studio. Yay! And I don't know if you guys can understand the feeling that I have right now. Like, I am so ecstatic that I don't have to use like ugly plastic like cut up bottles anymore, or like my milk cartons as like drainage dishes for all my plants. Like I can make nice ceramic cover pots now, and I'm definitely going to be experimenting with like different shapes, different colors, and I don't know, maybe even like it's not called applique when you do it with like clay, but like I have ideas to put like shapes on top. I don't know, maybe you'll see it in like future videos, but I have a lot of ideas in my head. So I'm really, really excited. I'm so happy that I finally got my kiln figured out and it's actually working for me, even though it's not perfect. Like the automatic setting doesn't work. So I had to like manually adjust it every single hour for like the whole day. But that's fine. Like I'm totally happy with that because I got the kiln at such a good price. Like kilns are super expensive, like thousands of dollars. And I got this for only a few hundred. So even though it is vintage, it does still work. And I'm so happy. Oh my gosh. I think this must be one of like the best things to happen to me like this entire year. And I'm so grateful that you guys have been with me this entire time if you've been watching my journey. And I hope that you will stick with me to see how this will change over time. My skill level will hopefully get better over time. And my pots will start to look nicer, I hope. And I am just feeling very, very optimistic overall right now. So thank you so much for being here. And my community members, I know there are a few of you who have been following me along on this journey with my ceramics. It's a really loud plane out there right now. But anyways, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support. And you guys have been cheering me on this whole time. And I love you guys so much. Like, honestly, like, I don't think you understand like what that has done for me. Like, I was very hesitant to show people my ugly pots from the start because I know that I'm still learning and it's not like anything great, but it's like a really fun project for me and I really wanted to share it with you guys and all of your support and your encouragement. Like, I just thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it so, so much. You have been so kind and so supportive, and I don't even know what I could do to return the favor. All I can say is thank you. Thank you. And I will see you guys in the community. Until next time, have a great day and enjoy your plants.